Riding after 45 can hurt more than it should, not because skill fades, but because habits don't adapt. Today, we're breaking down 12 riding mistakes that hurt after 45, showing you what to avoid and how to ride smarter, longer, and safer. And stick around till the end to learn the one mistake that ties all the others together and causes the most damage if ignored. Number 12, ignoring comfort. There comes a point, somewhere after your mid-40s, when the ride starts talking back, not with drama, with whispers, a numb spot that wasn't there before, a tight lower back that shows up halfway home, a seat that used to feel fine, now feeling like it's keeping score. And the mistake too many riders make is pretending that none of it matters. When you're younger, you can muscle through almost anything. Awkward ergonomics, stiff suspension, cramped posture. After 45, the body remembers. Every vibration travels farther. Every mile costs more. And once discomfort creeps in, focus quietly slips away with it. Comfort isn't about being soft. It's about staying sharp. A supportive seat, relaxed reach to the bars, suspension that absorbs instead of punishes. These aren't luxuries anymore. They're tools that protect your attention and your endurance. Riders who understand this gravitate toward machines built for balance, like the Suzuki V-Strom 800DE, where upright posture and long travel suspension turn hours into enjoyment instead of recovery time. Ignoring comfort might seem harmless in the moment, just a stiff back here, a tight shoulder there. But over time, that creeping discomfort becomes something bigger, because the body after 45 doesn't bounce back the way it used to. And that is where the next mistake hits even harder, when riders assume their recovery will take care of itself and learn the truth only after the soreness has already settled in. Number 11, riding without planning recovery. There was a time when you could ride all day, sleep it off, and wake up ready to go again. Somewhere after 45, that bargain quietly expires. The miles don't just end when the engine cools. They follow you home, into your back, your shoulders, your sleep. And the mistake many riders make is assuming recovery still happens on its own. Every long ride taxes the body. Muscles break down, energy stores drain. The nervous system stays switched on long after the helmet comes off. When you're younger, the body repairs itself quickly, almost invisibly. Later in life, that repair takes intention. Skip it and fatigue stacks up ride after ride until soreness turns into stiffness and stiffness turns into hesitation. Smart riders begin treating recovery as part of the ride itself. They hydrate before thirst shows up. They eat to refuel, not just to celebrate. They stretch, move, and give their joints permission to reset instead of locking up overnight. This isn't about pampering, it's about keeping tomorrow's ride as sharp as today's. If you are finding these points relatable so far, hit the like button, drop a comment to hype the conversation, and subscribe. This simple action is what keeps us bringing you more riding wisdom, more real-world insight, and more content designed for riders who want to stay sharp long after 45. Once recovery falls behind, everything else follows. Fatigue sets in, reaction time slows, and even simple rides feel heavier than they should. But instead of slowing down, some riders try to fight that fatigue the wrong way by pushing harder, twisting more, and chasing that old rush. And that leads straight into the next mistake, where adrenaline takes the wheel long before good judgment does. Number 10, chasing adrenaline instead of control. When you're younger, speed feels like proof. The harder you accelerate, the deeper you lean, the louder the engine sings, the more alive you feel. For a long time, that rush convinces you it's the whole point. But somewhere after 45, that equation starts to fall apart. The thrill is still there, but the margin for error quietly shrinks. Adrenaline doesn't protect you. Control does. Chasing speed asks your body to react instantly, every single time. It demands sharp reflexes, flawless timing, and resilience when things go wrong. With age, reaction windows narrow, muscles tire faster, and mistakes carry heavier consequences. Not because you forgot how to ride, but because physics stopped negotiating. Control is different. Control is smooth throttle instead of sudden bursts, clean lines instead of late corrections, braking early, not harder. Riders who lean into control don't ride timidly, they ride deliberately. They manage traction, they preserve balance, they leave themselves room to think when something unexpected appears. This shift isn't about fear, it's about intelligence earned over miles. The quiet confidence to know that you don't need to prove anything to the road anymore. Chasing adrenaline might feel exciting, but it blinds riders to the very thing age gives them: experience. And when riders ignore that advantage, they stop seeing the road the way they used to. Corners feel sharper, traffic feels unpredictable, and hazards show up only when it is too late. That loss of awareness sets the stage for the next mistake, the one where years of hard-earned wisdom go unused. Number 9, failing to use experience-based awareness. Riding a motorcycle has never been just about what your hands and feet are doing. It's about what your mind notices before your body ever needs to react. And after 45, one of the most dangerous mistakes a rider can make is leaving that awareness on autopilot. Experience gives you something younger riders don't have: pattern recognition. You've seen the distracted driver drift. You've watched brake lights flicker for no reason. You've felt the road surface change before the tire ever told you. That knowledge lives quietly in the background, but only if you invite it forward. And let me ask you this directly: how often has your awareness saved you? How many times has that little instinct, that flicker of recognition, kept you out of trouble? Share one of those moments in the comments. Your story might be the reminder another rider needs today. While you are there, hit like and subscribe. And returning to the mistakes, the problem is familiarity can dull attention. The same commute, the same back road, the same assumptions. When awareness slips, reaction time becomes your last line of defense instead of your first. And after 45, that's a bad trait. Because once a hazard forces a sudden response, your options narrow fast. Seasoned riders who stay sharp actively read the environment, they scan farther ahead, they watch body language inside cars, they sense trouble early and adjust long before it becomes urgent. That isn't paranoia, it's efficiency. Awareness is powerful, but it relies on a body that can back it up. When the muscles get weaker, when flexibility fades, when stamina drops, even the sharpest instincts start falling behind. That is why the next mistake cuts deeper than many riders expect, because it is not just about skill, it is about health, strength, and the physical foundation that every safe ride depends on. Number 8, neglecting fitness and health. For a long time, riding feels like enough. The wind keeps you awake, the miles keep you moving, and you tell yourself that time in the saddle counts as staying in shape. Somewhere after 45, that belief starts breaking down. A motorcycle asks a lot from the body: balance at stops, strength through corners, endurance when the ride stretches longer than planned. As the years add up, muscle fades faster, joints tighten sooner, and fatigue shows up earlier than it used to. Not dramatically, just enough to matter. And the mistake many riders make is ignoring those changes until the bike feels heavier than it ever did before. Riding alone doesn't maintain strength, doesn't protect flexibility, and it doesn't train endurance the way intentional movement does. Without a strong core, the bike pulls you around. Without stable legs, every stop becomes work. Without stamina, focus slips when traffic turns unpredictable. Seasoned riders who stay sharp treat their bodies like part of the machine. They stretch, they train balance, they keep their hearts strong enough to stay calm under pressure, not to look younger, but to ride cleaner. Once fitness and health decline, the bike itself starts feeling different. Handlebars feel heavier, low-speed maneuvering feels awkward, and long rides take more out of the body than they used to. And yet, many riders respond by choosing a faster motorcycle instead of a better-fitting one. That is the next mistake, picking power over ergonomics, even when the body is quietly asking for relief. Number 7, choosing speed over fit. For years, speed feels like the shortcut to excitement. More throttle, more pull, more bragging rights. But after 45, that mindset quietly turns against you. Because speed doesn't solve problems on a motorcycle, fit does. A bike that doesn't match your body asks you to compensate every second you're riding. Reaching too far for the bars, locking your knees at stops, carrying weight where your joints don't want it anymore. At low speeds, you manage. As pace increases, those small mismatches grow. Teeth. Braking takes more effort. Corrections feel heavier. Fatigue shows up early and stays late. A well-fitted motorcycle works with you instead of against you. Your arms stay loose. Your spine stays neutral. Your legs support the machine naturally. Control becomes instinctive, not forced. That's why many seasoned riders gravitate toward balanced machines like the Yamaha Tracer 900, not because it's the fastest thing on the road, but because it places the rider where control lives comfortably. Choosing fit over speed isn't settling, it's clarity. It lets you respond cleanly when the road surprises you and keeps effort low when the miles stack up. But even the best-fitting bike can't save you from one habit that creeps in next: the urge to rush the ride itself instead of letting it unfold at its own pace. Number 6, riding impatiently. Somewhere after 45, the road starts asking a different question: not how fast, but how present. And the mistake that answers it wrong over and over again is impatience. This isn't the loud recklessness of youth. It's quieter than that. It shows up when you skip the warm-up because you feel fine, when you push through traffic instead of flowing with it, when you rush a decision not because it's smart, but because you're in a hurry to be somewhere else. Impatience doesn't shout, it whispers, and that's what makes it dangerous. A motorcycle is unforgiving to rushed judgment. Sharp inputs upset balance. Late decisions steal margin. Stress tightens the body, narrows vision, and turns smooth riding into forced motion. After 45, your body needs a moment to settle into rhythm, joints to loosen, focus to sharpen. When you deny that process, the ride starts working against you. Seasoned riders who last understand this. Patience is not about slowing down. It's about staying aligned, letting the machine warm, letting traffic reveal itself, taking breaks before fatigue takes control. Calm creates consistency, and consistency keeps you upright. If these points are starting to feel familiar, I want to hear from you. What about you? Which of these mistakes have you noticed creeping into your own rides after 45? Share your thoughts, your stories, and your experiences in the comments. Your voice helps other riders more than you think. And stick around because we are standing right at the gate of the top 5 mistakes. Impatience on the bike starts small, skipping warm-ups, rushing through breaks, pushing before you're fully settled in. But impatience has a way of spilling into everything around the ride. For many riders over 45, that same rush appears in the garage, where small checks get ignored and tiny warning signs slip past notice. That is where the next mistake begins, when maintenance becomes an afterthought, even though it is the one thing that should never be rushed. Number 5, treating maintenance as optional. There's a quiet mistake that shows up after 45, and it doesn't announce itself with noise or drama. It waits. It hides in skipped inspections, delayed oil changes, tires you meant to replace next month. Treating maintenance as optional doesn't just strain your wallet, it gambles with your life. Owning a motorcycle isn't a one-time decision. It's a relationship. Machines age, components wear, fluids break down. And as your body takes longer to react and recover, the bike needs to be more dependable, not less. What once felt like a harmless delay becomes a liability with real consequences. Maintenance isn't about perfection, it's about prevention. Fresh oil keeps internal parts from grinding themselves apart. Healthy tires preserve grip when the road surprises you. Brakes in proper condition respond instantly, without hesitation. These details don't just protect the machine, they protect you when something unexpected happens. Experienced riders understand this shift. The garage becomes a checkpoint, not a chore. A moment of attention replaces hours of regret. Because breakdowns don't arrive politely, they appear at the worst possible time, when balance, strength, and reaction matter most. Maintenance matters because it protects you from problems you can see. But after 45, the real danger often comes from the things you cannot see. The sudden stop, the loose gravel, the driver who never checked their mirror. And that is where the next mistake appears. Riders stay loyal to old habits, old gear, and old systems, forgetting that modern safety tech exists for moments when skill alone is not enough. Number 4, ignoring modern safety technology. There's a comforting lie many riders tell themselves after 45. I've ridden this bike forever. I know it, I trust it, and familiarity feels like safety. But this is where experience can quietly turn against you. Because ignoring modern safety technology is one of the most expensive mistakes a seasoned rider can make. Not in dollars, but in consequences. Today's motorcycles don't rely solely on reflexes anymore. They support them. Systems like anti-lock braking don't just stop wheels from locking, they preserve control when panic tries to take over. In real-world riding, that difference can mean staying upright instead of sliding into chaos. Traction control smooths power when the road turns slick. Cornering systems correct mistakes mid-turn, right when judgment and timing matter most. And here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. After 45, your margin for error is thinner. Not because you're worse, but because the body takes longer to respond. Modern technology doesn't replace skill, it buys time. Time to react, time to correct, time to survive a moment that would have ended differently years ago. Many riders cling to older machines thinking they're saving money, but safer motorcycles are no longer exotic or unreachable. Even modestly priced bikes now arrive with electronic guardians built in, quietly working every second you ride. Using safety technology does not make a rider soft, it makes them smart. But some riders resist it because they still view every ride as a test, a challenge, a competition to prove something. And once riding becomes a contest, the purpose of being on two wheels slowly shifts. That is where the next mistake takes over, when riding stops being therapy and starts becoming pressure. Number 3, turning riding into competition instead of therapy. There's a moment every rider recognizes. The road opens up, the light hits just right, the engine settles into a steady pulse, and for a while everything inside you goes quiet. For most riders past 45, that feeling is the reason we ride. Peace, clarity, a moving reset button. But this mistake creeps in when that calm turns into comparison, and comparison turns into competition. Public roads were never meant to be scoreboards. When riding becomes about keeping up, showing off, or proving something to a stranger who will disappear at the next exit, the ride loses its healing power. Tension replaces flow, judgment tightens, every mile becomes a test instead of an experience, and motorcycles amplify that stress instead of hiding it. As the years add up, the cost of that mindset grows heavier. Recovery takes longer. Injuries linger. A small crash becomes a major interruption, not just to riding, but to life itself. The body absorbs stress differently now, and riding with a competitive edge accelerates wear on both flesh and machine. Tires disappear faster, brakes fade sooner, the joy quietly drains away. Seasoned riders who endure learn a different truth. Riding doesn't need speed to feel alive. It needs presence, the rhythm of the road, the sound of the engine echoing thoughts loose. That's where motorcycling becomes therapy, not escape, but alignment. Competition narrows the mind. It makes every rider look inward, comparing, measuring, trying to outdo the next person. But the older you get, the more valuable shared experience becomes. And that is where the next mistake grows quietly, when riders push away community, dismiss mentorship, and lose the steady guidance that only other riders can provide. Number 2, rejecting community and mentorship. After 45, there's a quiet confidence that comes with miles logged and mistakes survived. You know your bike, you know your limits, and that self-sufficiency feels earned. But here's the catch: when that confidence hardens into isolation, it quietly becomes one of the most dangerous mistakes a seasoned rider can make. Motorcycling was never meant to be a solitary discipline. The safest, strongest riders are rarely the ones who ride alone all the time. They are the ones who stay connected. Groups, clubs, and informal riding circles exist because shared experience fills gaps no solo ride ever can. One rider notices a hazard, another suggests a safer line, someone else passes along a lesson learned the hard way, saving you from repeating it. Mentorship matters more as the years add up, not because you lack skill, but because perspective multiplies safety. Conversations over fuel stops often carry more value than hours of solo riding. Routes get smarter, decisions get calmer. Risky habits get checked before they turn into consequences. Community also protects your wallet. Riders help each other evaluate bikes, spot hidden issues, and avoid costly mistakes when buying new or used. That guidance can prevent expensive repairs, wrong purchases, and avoidable downtime. It's not about dependence, it's about leverage. And then there's the part no spec sheet can measure: belonging. Riding with others reinforces discipline, accountability, and joy. You laugh more, you ride longer, you stay sharper. Without community, a rider loses something essential: perspective. The honest reminders, the second opinions, the friendly voice that says, slow down, think ahead. And when that perspective disappears, the oldest instinct returns, going fast to feel capable, confident, or in control. That brings us to the most damaging mistake of all, the one that hurts more riders after 45 than anything else: choosing speed over wisdom. Number 1, riding fast instead of riding smart. Every rider loves that first surge of acceleration. The engine opens up, the wind presses in, and for a moment the world feels light again. That feeling never really leaves you. But after 45, there's a hard line most riders eventually face: the difference between riding fast and riding smart. Confusing the two is the most damaging mistake of all. Speed feels powerful because it's immediate. Judgment is quieter. It works in the background. Riding smart isn't about denying performance, it's about choosing when and where it belongs. Public roads are unpredictable ecosystems. Intersections lie. Drivers hesitate. Surfaces change without warning. At higher speeds, margin disappears. Time compresses. A small error becomes a permanent consequence. As years add up, the equation changes. Reflexes are still sharp, but recovery takes longer. Bones heal slower. Injuries linger. What once ended as a scare now becomes a season or a lifetime of limitation. Riding fast multiplies impact. Riding smart manages exposure. That difference decides whether you keep riding or stop altogether. Smart riding shows up in quiet choices. Rolling off earlier, leaving space, reading traffic like a story instead of a challenge. Choosing machines that reward balance and predictability over raw aggression. Modern motorcycles offer braking control, traction assistance, and stability that work with experience instead of demanding perfection. Here's the truth: seasoned riders eventually accept speed doesn't prove confidence. Control does, awareness does, longevity does. The real win isn't arriving first, it's arriving again tomorrow and the day after that. Riding smart keeps the road open for decades. And once you understand that, you realize something even deeper. Every mistake on this list points to one thing: not slowing down life, but learning how to stay in it. And if these 12 riding mistakes that hurt after 45 made you think twice about your own rides and want to make sure you never repeat them, don't stop here. Click the next video on your screen, like this one, drop a hype in the comments, and subscribe for more tips to ride smarter, safer, and longer.